Hey, Mercy Village Church, Josh Early here. It's been another morning with you here on this Tuesday. Continue our study with Jesus after the manger, but before his ministry begins. We're once again in Matthew chapter 2, and today we're going to be looking at verses 19 through 23. As we remember that Jesus has been, him and his family, Joseph was told in a dream that Herod seeked to kill his son, and so they left to Egypt, and so then we pick it up in verse 19. He is in Egypt with his family. It says, "But when Herod died, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, 'Rise, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the child's life are dead.' And he rose and took the child and his mother and went to the land of Egypt. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judah in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. And he went and lived in a city called Nazareth, that what was spoken by the prophets might be fulfilled. He shall be called a Nazarene." Okay, so we got Joseph is again told in a dream that it's safe to go back, that Herod has died, and those that sought to kill Jesus were dead. And so he begins the journey back. And as we saw last week, there's about 80-mile journey. And they go through, on the way, at some point he realizes who has taken place, who is ruling the area. And so this Archelaus, it points out here in ESV Study Bible, says one of Herod the Great's sons. He succeeded Herod's throne over Judea, Samaria, and ruled from 4 to 6 AD. But one thing that was interesting that it points out here, he was hated by the Jews and displayed the same kind of cruelty that had characterized his father's reign. Even so much that it says that Caesar Augustus, fearing a revolution from the people, disposed and banished him to Gaul, which, when I looked that up, that's actually in Vienna in France. So he was taken and removed out of that area by 6 AD. But Joseph sees this as a threat to his family, and so I would say at that point, then there's not going to be in that age range. There's not going to be male children in around Jesus's age, because they had killed all those, especially in that area. So they withdraw to Nazareth. Nazareth is actually in the lower Galilean hills, which is halfway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Sea of Galilee. And so it's more of a country hillside. It was a relatively small village, it says here. It was between 200 and 1,600 population. And it says that in Luke chapter 1, it compares here, says that actually Luke had indicated that Joseph and Mary had earlier came from Nazareth. So it's possible that they had connections in that village, that they knew people there, and so they just kind of returned back to where they were. And then one thing interesting, one of the specifics of Nazarene, it says that Matthew's not quoting any specific Old Testament prophecy. So when it says that that prophecy might be fulfilled, he's basically, it says that the Old Testament prophets foretold that the Messiah would be despised, comparable to the way which the town of Nazareth was despised in the time of Jesus. So this wasn't a place that people were very highly thought of in that time. And it says Matthew may also have indicated a wordplay connecting the word Nazareth to the Old Testament Masonic prophecy in Isaiah 11, since Nazareth sounds like the word for branch in Hebrew. But the one thing it does point out here too, that the Nazarite vow, which we remember that Samson took, there's no connection to this town. And so when you kind of sound similar, but it's not the same. So it's very interesting. So we see here that Jesus and his family return to Nazareth. They come back to the area, which we know Jesus is going to grow in that area. It doesn't give us a time frame as far as how long they were in that area, but we know that Herod the Great died because of the reign that begins of his son in 4 BC. And so we don't know exact dates, but we're looking at probably about he's probably about 4 or 5 years old at this point. And we see that, they come back. This is where they're going to live. This is where they're going to raise. He's going to learn to be a carpenter. He's going to be called out of this area. And so Jesus grows up, and there's, like I said, there's not a whole lot that is given, but we do see this provision that God makes, that we see that God continues to speak to Joseph through a dream, and we also see that Joseph continues to obey and follow what God is calling him to do. And so as something we could take from this is something that God is calling us to obey, that he's giving us areas of, whether it's in our career, with our families, and things that specifically that he has given us that we are responsible for, or that we are to follow in his lead, in his direction. We can obey him with confidence, knowing that he's going to provide, that he goes before us, and so it's just encouraging in that we can trust him, and we can obey with confidence that he is for us and not against us. So I hope you have a great day today. Hopefully this is interesting and applying, and